Imagine you're scrolling through YouTube. A video pops up. It's Kat Hernandez, or at least the person you know as Kat. Her background is perfectly lit, her makeup is flawless, and she's looking right at the camera with a smile that seems unshakable. The title of the video is something like, How to Own Any Room You Walk Into, or Why You Should Stop Caring What People Think. She talks about confidence like it's a superpower, something you can just put on like a jacket. For years, this was Kat's online persona. A beacon of self-assurance, a guide helping her audience find their own inner strength. But lately, a strange and unsettling story has begun to unfold. The very thing Kat built her name on, confidence, has slowly, quietly, become a source of deep and exhausting insecurity. This is not a story about a fraud being exposed. It's a more modern, and much sadder, story about how the performance of a feeling can eventually drain the real feeling dry. To understand what happened, we have to go back to the beginning. Kat started her channel like many do, sharing her interests, her thoughts on life, her struggles with shyness. Her early videos were relatable. She was figuring things out alongside her viewers. As her audience grew, she noticed something. The videos that got the most views, the most comments, the most love, were the ones where she talked about overcoming self-doubt. People were hungry for it. They told her, "You seem so confident. How can I be like you?" Almost without realizing it, Kat began to lean into this identity. She became the confidence girl. Her content shifted from a journey to a destination. She was no longer someone seeking confidence. In her videos, she was someone who had it, fully and completely. This persona was a hit. It was inspiring. It was marketable. Brands loved it. The comments sections were filled with heart emojis and messages thanking her for being a role model. But here's where the first crack appeared. The online persona started to become a full-time job, even when the camera was off. Kat felt a growing pressure to be that person all the time. If she was at a party and felt quiet, she'd force herself to be the loudest one, because that's what confident Kat would do. If she felt nervous before a meeting, she couldn't just be nervous, she had to fight it, hide it, and perform the opposite. The persona, which started as a helpful character, began to act like a cage. She couldn't show a moment of vulnerability because that would break the spell. It would disappoint her audience, she thought. It would be off-brand. The real, human feeling of doubt, something everyone experiences, became a terrifying enemy. A sign of failure. This performance created a new and terrible kind of insecurity. Before, her insecurities were normal. Am I good enough? Do people like me? Now, they became meta, twisted by the persona. Do I look confident enough right now? Is my performance convincing? What if someone sees through it? The focus shifted from actually feeling secure in herself to meticulously managing how secure she appeared to others. Every social interaction, every offline moment, became a potential scene that had to be acted correctly. The anxiety was no longer about the thing itself, but about the performance of not having anxiety. It was exhausting. The internet, of course, made this 1,000 times worse. Social media is not a place for subtlety or for off days. It's a highlight reel. Kat would post a picture where she looked assertive and strong, and the comments would pour in, "Queen. Goals. I wish I had your confidence." Each comment, meant as a compliment, felt like another brick in the wall. They weren't praising her, they were praising the character. They were reinforcing the expectation. How could she possibly post a picture where she looked tired, or unsure, or sad? It would shatter the image. The likes and positive comments became a drug. She needed them to feel the persona was successful. But they also fed the monster, making it bigger and more demanding. Then came the backlash, which is almost inevitable in the online world. As Kat's persona grew more polished and seemingly perfect, a few voices started to push back. Comments like, "She's so full of herself," or "This confidence stuff is just arrogance," began to appear. For someone already drowning in the pressure of her own performance, these criticisms were devastating. They created a paralyzing double bind. If she showed confidence, she was arrogant. If she showed a flicker of doubt, she was a hypocrite. There was no way to win. The persona she built to protect herself from judgment was now making her the biggest target for a new, more complicated kind of judgment. You can see the strain start to show in the videos if you look closely. The smile becomes a little too fixed. The advice starts to sound more like a recited script than lived wisdom. In some videos, there's a hint of desperation in her eyes, a plea for the audience to believe the performance so she can keep believing it herself. The content might start to repeat, because how many ways can you say believe in yourself before you start to question what it really means? She might even make a video addressing haters, but the defense feels fragile, like she's trying to convince herself as much as her viewers. This is the cruel irony of Kat's situation. The pursuit of confidence turned into a public performance has robbed her of the very thing she wanted. Real confidence is quiet, it's flexible, it allows for bad days and moments of fear. It doesn't need to be announced. The performance of confidence, however, is loud, rigid, and terrified of any slip-up. It is, in essence, the opposite of true security. Kat has become insecure about her confidence. She's trapped in a hall of mirrors where every reflection is the persona and the real person feels lost somewhere behind the glass, watching and growing more lonely by the day. So, where does Kat go from here? The path out is the hardest video she'll ever have to make. It's the one where she turns off the perfect lights, sits close to the camera, and says, "I've been struggling." It's the video where she admits that confidence isn't a permanent state you achieve, but a wobbly, coming and going feeling that everyone, even the confidence gurus, deals with. It means dismantling the persona that brought her fame and rebuilding a more honest, more complicated, and more human online presence. It means trading the role of a guide who has all the answers for the more relatable role of a fellow traveler. Some of her audience might leave. They wanted the fairy tale, the simple answer. But many, many more would likely breathe a huge sigh of relief. Because her story, this journey from selling confidence to being imprisoned by it, is the story of our online age. We are all pressured to curate our best selves, to turn our emotions into brands, to perform happiness, success, and yes, confidence. Kat's breakdown of this persona, if she chooses to share it, could be more powerful than all her how-to videos combined. It would show that true strength isn't about never falling apart. It's about having the courage to admit when you have, and the resilience to put yourself back together, not as a perfect statue, but as a living, breathing, wonderfully imperfect human being. The end of Kat's old persona wouldn't be a failure. It would be the first, real, confident step she's taken in a very long time.